Another day, another loss for the Utah Jazz. So many things to say, but also nothing to say at the same time. Am I right? What was it, 122 to 103? Something along those lines. Let me pull up these official numbers real quick. Yeah. 103, 122. I guess it's different Nuggets. Nikola Jokic down several players, as we always love to experience. Colin Sexton pacing our scores with 26. Then you had Keontae having a terrible shooting night from the field. Decent shooting night from three-point range, though. 23 points himself. Worst box score plus minus on the night at negative 19. Johnny was a negative 16. He was 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 4 from three-point range. So that tells you why he was so inefficient, or why he just had a terrible box score plus minus. And then, Bryce surprisingly had a negative 18. Didn't shoot great from the field overall, but he was 3 of 6 from the three-point range. I'm probably going to do an individual video. I was debating on it last week, but this week I'm definitely going to give one, obviously, because what's his name? Cody Williams getting assigned to the G League, and now Bryce Sensabaugh finally getting some more sizable minutes, because he has shown a decent amount of growth, and he just hasn't been getting the respect that I think that he honestly deserves. But we'll see how things shake out. You know what I'm saying? What's good, Logic? How you doing, man? I know I said I wouldn't be covering too many of our losses, but I don't want to go too many games without doing a live stream. You know what I'm saying? Despite the terrible nature of them, if you will. It's a journey. For the Denver Nuggets, though, Michael Porter Jr., 19-7-4. Peyton Watson, 9-3-2. Jokic, 30-10-7. Crazy stuff. Christian Braun, 18-7-3. Jamal Murray, 22-4-8. Westbrook off the bench didn't do anything too crazy. 10 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists. So, shoulder shrug, but didn't really take much. They cooked us anyways, like I said. And then obviously our injuries and just people being out of the game took a toll on us. Jordan Clarkson, Larry Markkinen, John Collins, Cody Williams, Taylor Hendricks, obviously still for the remainder of the season. For some reason on our inactives, they have David Jones Garcia, who I did not expect to play, period. But, interesting that NBA.com has him on there in general. I expected this loss if only because we were down Collins and Larry. Yeah. We got to see sizable sample size of minutes for Svi, who this might be like his third game all season that he's checked into, period. Potter, yeah, a decent night. 3 of 6 from 3-point range, 3 of 7 overall. He did have 16 boards though, which is actually ballistically insane. 8 offensive, 8 defensive to go along with that 9 points. So in 31, almost 32 minutes, he did everything that he could with his time. Not gonna lie to you. And then you had Walker Kessler also being a bright spot for us. 16 points, 12 boards, 6 offensive, 6 defensive. He had 5 assists as well, which is really interesting. I think we're going to tap into that more just in general. And I do enjoy seeing that facet of his game, just making an extra pass, knowing where guys are going to be on the floor and making that extra swing. And then also he had, his usual 1 steal. He had 3 blocks today, which was nice. Nobody had too many turnovers. Isaiah Collier did. He had 4 assists to 4 turnovers. He did have 6 points, but he was 2 of 10 shooting. He was 2 of 4 from 3-point range, though. So he's up to 3 or 4 makes on the season now, which, is nothing, but still an improvement. That 0 of 6 inside the arc, though, is kind of a pain. And then he also was 0 of 2 from the free throw line. Not saying that he needs to go to the G League, because obviously we don't have like a solidified point guard. Looking at Keontae George's 9 of 23 from the field. That's 39%, by the way. 5 of 12 from 3 is solid, though. 41.7%. That's good. But that 4 of 11 from Inside the arc isn't that great, and then 0-1 from the free throw line doesn't help things. 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers. Yeah. And then Sexton had a efficient game. He's due for a video from me as well. Deservedly so. 9 of 16 from the field, 56%. 205 from 3, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 2 turnovers. And like I said, the team leading 26 points. Doesn't get better than that. Johnny, despite going 0-5 from the field, did have 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block to go along with just 1 turnover. But when the whole point of you being able to be on the floor is to stretch the floor and be that 3 and D kind of guy, and your 3 ball isn't falling at all, you're kind of ineffective to have out there on the floor. Drew played a minute and a half. Obviously didn't do anything but get a personal foul. I said Bryce, don't think I read out his numbers, but 5 of 12 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, doing Bryce things. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. Overall, his efficiency this season has been a lot better. And then we got to see our first game. I do recall this being our first game of Oscar Tshiebwe. 15 and a half, almost 16 minutes. He didn't hit any of his shot. He didn't shoot anything. He got sent to the line twice, though. 3 or 4 from the free throw line, had 9 rebounds. Love to see that. 2 steals, only 1 turnover. Oscar plus minus was a -6, but it doesn't really matter because we didn't expect anything crazy anyways. I did want to see Kyle Filipowski in this one. He wasn't listed as an inactive. It's marked down as a DNP for a coach's decision. So I wonder where that comes from. But, just kind of shrug my shoulders. Yig. Nevertheless. But, we're out here just living the dream, Nothing else we can do. Just kind of biding our time. Now we're 4-13? 4-13, 4-14, something like that. Let me see. Before I sit there and misquote us. Utah Jazz. Yeah, 4-14 now. Okay. Yeah. So we're curtain calls all day. Why Bryce -18 must have had defense at some points. Yeah, and then also he shared the court a lot with Johnny, who wasn't hitting shots, which in general isn't terrible. But when you hit no shots and you're Johnny Juzang, and the whole point of you being serviceable is being okay defensively, but also being able to hit threes, and you take 5 straight possessions and you don't hit your shot, that's, let's say they score even, 3 times on the other side. That's a 6-point swing right there. And that's under the assumption that we did manage to stop them on, the other 2 misses that you had, which, looking at their numbers, probably we didn't, because they shot 55% from the field, 46 of 84. But it was more so probably just the lineups that he was rolled out with. I'm assuming he spent a lot of time on the court with Isaiah Collier, Johnny, and then Oscar Tshiebwe was probably also a crossover in minutes, because they were -6, -16, and -6 again. I'd assume that some of his minutes also came with Keontae George on the court, because Keontae's box score plus minus is a -19 despite only playing 35 minutes, whereas Colin Sexton's is a -13 while playing 39 and a half minutes, which is, I think this is the highest amount of minutes he's played all season, which is nice to see. Always love a Colin Sexton masterclass, even though nobody appreciates him in the world. But, squandered, left wanting, and wasted. You know what I'm saying? Just one of those things. Just one of those things. He said, "Oh, what's up, Jeff?" He said, "I look at Bryce's stats. I don't think he was one of our worst. I would say he's probably one of our better players tonight in totality." Yes, in Bryce's minutes overall this season, defensively, he hasn't looked as rough as he did last year. He moves his feet a little bit better. Obviously not great, right? He's not going to be an insane positive. Sometimes he has slightly positive games. Sometimes he has slightly negative games, but he's never as up and down as crazy as he was before. His efficiency is night and day better. I don't think so far in any games that he's played where he's shot the ball more than 4 times, he's shot in the 30 and like 38, 39% from the field. I don't think that's happened yet. I could be wrong a little bit, but for the most part, his efficiency in his scoring sense has been the thing that's been the most interesting thing about him. That's the only reason why he made it this far. And it looks like he's been holding on to it. And he is, according to these numbers. So far, NBA.com, according to them, in his 11 games so far this season, he's played about 15 minutes, averaging 7.5, 2 boards and half an assist with 1.3 turnovers. Shooting 48% from the field and 44.4% from three on 5.3 field goals overall and 3.3 of those being 3-pointers. Which is night and day because last season on 6.8 attempts, he was shooting 39%. And then on 3.6 3-point attempts, he was shooting 29.6%. So he's definitely more efficient than he was last year, which should mean that he gets more minutes longer, like later on in the season. And at this point, it begs the question, as much as we like Jordan Clarkson as a person, he's not an efficient player. He's not a winning player for us right now. And because of that, we can't, despite the minutes that we've given him, he hasn't been able to showcase, hey, contending teams, take a chance on me, trade for me, please. I want to go win stuff. So it's like, I know Keontae George, I guess, could fill in as a 6-man because him as a starter just isn't looking good to me. But somebody else that I think could give you that scoring punch off the bench is Bryce Sensabaugh, because that's the thing that he's most known to be able to do, or we expect for him to be able to do. And so far this season, he has looked good in his minutes. He's shooting better than Keontae George, right? He's not playing nearly as many minutes or getting nearly as much burn or opportunity. But in the times that he's gotten and in the minutes that he's been receiving, he's been doing the most out of anybody on this roster, like bar none. And I think it's one of those things where it's like he recognizes that he's not going to have a significant number of opportunities. He's on the bubble. He's not one of those guys where when this team turns things around and they stop tanking and they're trying to win games, he's going to be getting a lion's share of minutes. He knows it's not going to be him. He's just trying to prove that, hey, I should be on this team. Like, I'm deserving of a roster spot. When my rookie deal is up, I deserve a second contract. I deserve an extension. Like, and if you guys don't want to give that to me, somebody should be able to look at my numbers and say, you know what? We should bring him in at the very least for a workout. Give him a little 10-day, see how things work out. And to me, that says a lot. That says a lot. It's one of the few bright spots for the Jazz, honestly, from my point of view so far this season, at least. But we're just going through it, man. We're just going through it. What is the next game looking like? 3 days from now against the Mavericks. Mavericks on Saturday. Lakers the very next day. Just ill. I don't like either of those games. They're going to come and go, though. That's for sure. They are going to go. Look at the bright side. There's Sixers and Wizards. Yeah. The Sixers are still incredibly incompetent, which is hilarious, honestly. And the Sixers have just been an enigma in and of themselves. Like, they are one of one in incompetency. And the fact that people looked me dead in my eyes and said, "Oh yeah, Paul George, playoff P." That's podcast P to me, buddy. Like, yeah, he's not that guy. Now, Jared McCain has looked very good. Jared McCain has been extremely impressive. And the fact that somebody can drop 30 on you, then go and start shaking his hips in the locker room and doing a TikTok dance for about 45 seconds and garner a few million views on there is crazy. But I mean, you just got to hold that. You got to hold that 30 piece. You probably beat the heck out of his team. Like, you beat them like a dead horse. But he going to get that dance off. And you just got to hold that 30 you let him give you. One of the more interesting stories across the league, though, and probably right now the runaway favorite for rookie year of the year. Mm-mm. He said McCain the only reason Maxey hasn't gone insane with how the season is going. Yeah, yeah. That little playoff leak, that little leak from the players only meeting was hilarious to me. And everybody's sitting there talking about, or at least MB's like, oh, whoever leaked that, you know, you're a terrible person. You shouldn't have done that. It's like, bro, just be more accountable. Own your business, get better, and sweep it under the rug, bro. It was gonna get out one way or another. It just came out, and for all you know, the room was stabbed. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. The league is an entertainment-driven industry. It only makes sense that way. That's how they pay for stuff. That's just how the game works. Not gonna lie. So that's what I expect from the Sixers after they made tanking pop. Nah, the process really failed. Not gonna lie. I believed in the process at one point. I was impressed. Man, yo, on a side tangent, Jahlil Okafor, bro, you know how tough he would have been in the 90s? Bro would have been a junk. He would have fed families with that talent that he had in the low post. But he just came into the league at a time where shooting was at an all-time premium, and that wasn't his bag, and they didn't want to run it through the paint, and so he just never really caught on. That and he wasn't an elite rim protector. That also was a reason. But yeah, just a wild way to go out. Any more thoughts or ideas, I guess? No need to hold up everybody's time too often. I should have had a small note. I had Jokic on my parlay because I knew he was going to do us egregious. And then when I saw our inactives, I knew he was definitely going to hit his. It was like over 25, I think. I knew he was going to hit that. Unfortunately, I didn't put Colin Sexton on as the other leg. I put Cameron Payne. The over was 7 points. He had 6. So not too happy about that. But, I got Colin Sexton put up numbers. So I know I haven't been the greatest at getting my videos together as of late. Just really lacking the motivation with the way the Jazz have been, to be honest with you guys. So I'm going to try and switch it up, show a little bit more love to some other teams. Stephon Castle's due for a video. The Hornets are due for a video. I'm going to do one for Sexton. What's his name? Bryce Sensabaugh, and there's one more for us that I want to talk about. Cody Williams getting sent to the G League and my thoughts on that. So those will probably be the 5 next videos we end up getting out here, just to put y'all on notice. But as always, it's your boy Wraith Hoops. Thanks for tuning into the video. If you're still watching, if you're not a fair weather Jazz fan and you are in the trenches, obviously you saw this video. I appreciate you. If you're a fan of the channel, I appreciate you as well. If you want to smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications, become a member, drop a donation, help support the content. And as always, good morning, good evening, and good night, no matter where you're watching. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.